SEC Tournament. Paul Maneri and his LSU Tigers getting ready to take on Alabama. The Crimson Tide bringing fans of all ages once again to Hoover Met Stadium. Mitch Gaspard and company trying to pull off an upset against the number 2 team in the field, the LSU Tigers. We are thinning the field on a daily basis as we are now down to the final 6 teams. LSU and Alabama battling here today. The winner takes on the Arkansas Razorbacks. Later on this afternoon, it'll be Vanderbilt against Texas A&M. And the victor there will battle the Bulldogs of Mississippi State. And with that, we say hello and welcome with former Auburn and Major League pitcher Joe Beckwith. I'm Mike Morgan. Great to be with you. Alabama, one of the youngest teams in the field, and they are led by one of the younger middle infielders playing some great baseball, Mikey White.
Mikey White's been doing a tremendous job for Alabama all year, and he's grown up. But not only has he been playing good defense, but his bat has come alive in this tournament with a couple of key hits. And then last night in the 10th inning, got a big 2-out RBI for the Tide's victory over Ole Miss.
Meanwhile, for the LSU Tigers, they were upset by the Arkansas Razorbacks. But, Joe, it's not just the fact that they lost the ball game, it's how they lost it.
It is. Paul Maneri has built this LSU club on pressuring his opponent. Yesterday, Arkansas put the pressure on LSU. LSU made several mistakes. 2 squeeze bunts by Arkansas brought down LSU in a victory for the Razorbacks.
Well, at this part of the format right now, it's win or go home, so that's the number 1 key to the ball game, obviously. As we look at the Mizuno never settle keys to the game, what should we be checking out today?
Well, for LSU, it's say what? I mean, they were totally surprised yesterday. They came to this tournament expecting to win, and for them to get to Sunday, they've got to turn things around from yesterday and improve and go on to victory. For Alabama, we're rolling, baby. They are playing some great baseball. At the end of the season, they played good ball. And here in this tournament, they're playing good baseball. Even though they lost to LSU the other night, expect good things out of both teams today, something different than what we saw last time.
National anthem has been performed. We're a few moments away from playing some baseball on another gorgeous afternoon here in Hoover, Alabama. I've never seen better weather than what we've enjoyed in this year's installment of the SEC Tournament. Paul Maneri leading the LSU Tigers now in his 7th season as the LSU head coach. Took him at the national title back in 2009. And here is the lineup card that he has filled out. Sean McMullen starting things off, the designated hitter at .321 of the year. Mark Laird at a 2-hole. Alex Bregman, one of the top freshmen in all of the land. For that matter, one of the top players, period, regardless of experience. .392 batting average and a very good defensive shortstop. Mason Katz, another guy up for the player of the year in college baseball, hitting .385. Rhymes, Ibarra, Tyler Moore is the first baseman. Ty Ross in the 8-hole, the starting catcher. And then Andrew Stevenson, who covers a tremendous amount of ground in center field, batting 9th. And they'll be going up against the right-hander Mike Ozipak. 4-1 on the year with a 3.72 earned run average. It's only his 4th start. He has seen LSU. They have seen him. The question is, Joe Beckwith, what will they be seeing today?
Well, first of all, concentrate on the pronunciation and not the spelling.
That's what I'm doing. Ozipak.
That's it. You pronounced it correctly because I had trouble with it until Rich Davey explained to me. But as far as Ozipak, a great opportunity today for him. He has pitched during the season, and Alabama's looking for some good things. Now, for you kids out there that are watching this game that really want to move on and play some college baseball and don't think you have the talent, watch Mike Ozipak today because he is a walk-on player. They got cut from the team last year, came back, played some summer ball, then came back in the season. made the squad this year, and now he's pitching as a walk-on pitcher.
He is a great story, no question about it. And the reason why he made it this time around, bottom line is he throws strikes. And they just figured that eventually will be invaluable. So far this year, he has been valuable for them, mainly as a reliever. Again, this is his 4th start of the season. McMullen will start things off for LSU. The lefty hitting .321 on the year, takes the first pitch. It's off the plate, and we are underway. Tony Mainers calling balls and strikes.
You know, this situation here, Mike, where Ozzie Pox just really got to settle down, stay within himself. I mean, this is the biggest game that he's ever pitched in his life. But you really want to stay within yourself, throw strikes. You got a great defense behind you. You just got to rely on them to catch the ball.
That pitch down low for a ball. LSU in this tournament as a team hitting .222, and they have not hit a home run. And this is easily one of the best hitting teams in the country, probably in the SEC. I guess you could have some debate over that. But when you look at the numbers overall, with the exception of Arkansas and Mississippi State, nobody's been hitting that well in this tournament and in this ballpark.
No, they haven't. And today's going to be even more difficult because the wind's kind of coming in from the outfield. We've seen the wind just slightly outside.
Terrific diving stop by White. Safe. Almost another sensational play by the Alabama shortstop, the freshman Mikey White.
It's like we talked about in pregame. Alabama up the middle with White and Overstreet are tremendous. He just makes a great play going to his right, a strong throw, but the speed there just by McMullen beat the throw.
Defensively for the Crimson Tide, up the middle is what you want to look for. White, who you just saw in Overstreet. They join Roberts and Smith at the corners, Booth the catcher, Miller, Salem, and Moore left to right in the outfield. And there you take a look at White. Between White and Overstreet, they are a fun double play duo to watch. And you're going to get to see him for a couple of more years in the Southeastern Conference. Here's Mark Laird, the starting right fielder, another lefty. Fouls it back to the screen.
Well, they are. Earlier in the year, I had a game with Alabama and Georgia, and you take White and Overstreet up the middle, and then center field, Georgia Salem, 3 true freshmen that Alabama has a pleasure, and you fans will have a pleasure to watch for the years coming. Almost caught McMullen leaning there.
Laird at 288 on the season. LSU so far in this SEC tournament 0 for 1 in stolen bases. The most aggressive team by far has been Texas A&M, 7 of 9. The bunt is a beauty if it stays fair. Rolling, and foul. Boy, Roberts made a gamble.
It was a good play there by Roberts. We saw on opening night there, Texas A&M, a similar bunt there with his third baseman came in, tried to make the play. Instead, he did make the play, but there Roberts realized he is not going to get Laird out at first base. Did the smart thing of letting that ball roll foul.
No balls, 2 strikes the count, nobody out. Ozzie Pock brings it home and misses away at 91. Well, we got 91 on one gun, we got 87 on another. Let's split the difference and call it 89, Joe.
That's good. Well, Ozzie Pock's a big kid, 6'4", 230 freshman that you'll see fastball in the high 80s, 88, 89, 90 miles an hour, and a good changeup. Throw it about 75. We saw one earlier, but just will mix his pitches up. The main thing he needs to concentrate is really just attacking these LSU hitters.
The 1-2 comebacker. Nice play by Ozzie Pock to second for 1, on to first. Perfectly turned.
I mean, you're going to see Alabama make some great plays in defense, as we saw with White earlier, but Ozzie Pock picks one from his hip there. A short ball hit back up the middle. And that's a great job of leading watching White come across, does a great job of leading White into that. Instead of, sometimes you'll see a pitcher that might throw the ball behind the shortstop as he comes across, and that can delay the throw to first. And with Lair's speed, great play by White turning that.
That is the 7th double play Alabama has turned in this SEC tournament. And as you might imagine, that leads the tournament. And Alabama, this is not an accident. When you've turned 73, second in the nation, some of that is where the ball bounces. The rest of it is just great defense.
Well, not only that, Mike, but when you've got two freshmen up the middle that really have not played at this level, and to watch them grow, but then also you got the key other parts at third base with Roberts and over at first. I mean, you just cannot ask for a stronger infield than that. And then LSU on the other side, we're going to see some great defense out of them also.
Alex Bregman, speaking of talented freshmen, might be the best freshman in all of college baseball. 392, 5 homers, 49 driven in, and a joy to watch defensively. That one bounces over home plate.
I think as far as the differences that you see between Bregman and White, both of them are true freshmen, shortstops. Bregman has got a really good bat and has been helping to carry this LSU team, whereas White's been growing as the year goes.
Payoff, chopped up the middle. On 2 hops, White again. Why not? So Ozzie winds up facing the minimum thanks to a sensational double play. We go to the bottom half of the first. No score. 2 games on this beautiful Friday afternoon in Hoover, Alabama. The Tigers and the Alabama Crimson Tide. The winner advances to take on Arkansas. The loser will take a trip home and get ready for, in all likelihood, would be a regional for both these teams. Crimson Tide, led by head coach Mitch Gaspard. They'll start things off with Kenny Roberts, Georgie Salem in the 2-hole, Kyle Overstreet third, Ben Moore, good hitting right fielder, batting cleanup. Followed up by White, the freshman, Austin Smith at first, Brett Booth, the catcher. Andrew Miller is in left, Chance Vincent, the designated hitter. And they'll be going up against Ryan Eads, one of the top pitchers in the Southeastern Conference this year. The numbers are pretty staggering, 8-1 with a 2.70, but he's actually struggled a little bit here in the latter part of the season. They really want to get Eads back on track. This is a big start for him as LSU heads into regional play.
Well, it is for Eads. He's a big kid, 6'3", 197, junior out of Slidell, Louisiana. Comes in, will throw the ball low to mid-90s, has a great changeup and slider. And he'll throw them at any time in the account, and that's the important part. That's the important ingredient for great pitchers, being able to mix those pitches up, but not just one pitch with a fastball. But when you get in a situation behind the batter and you can get that off-speed stuff across the plate, it just really confuses the hitters.
There's Mitch Gaspard, the head coach of Alabama. In his 4th year now. Roberts looks at one just out of the zone at 91 miles an hour.
For Eads, his senior year in high school, he missed the season due to surgery with a torn labrum.
This ball is smoked, but right to the left fielder, Rafe Rhymes, who puts it away for out number 1. Defensively for LSU, Rhymes, solid job in left. Stevenson, Laird, they cover a lot of ground in center and in right. Bregman and Katz up the middle. Ibarra and Moore at the corners. Ross, good fielding catcher behind home plate. You see the fielding percentage for LSU in this SEC tournament, 986. That's 3rd best. Missouri and Kentucky were flawless, but they only played in 1 game, so you could make a case that LSU has flashed the leather as good or as well as anybody in the field. As Salem steps into the box 1-0 pitch fouled back our way.
Early in the season, Salem was the leadoff batter for Alabama, and the one thing that Mitch Gaspard was trying to get Salem to do was to be patient, take some pitches, really get an idea of what the pitchers got out there, and really anxious there earlier in the season as the leadoff batter, and really might put a little bit more pressure on himself than what he needed to do, because that leadoff spot has been key for Alabama as of late.
Skips over home plate for ball 2.
Have a great event. Let's go.
It's a very young Alabama team.
Well, it is, and here with Salem in center field, I mean, he's made some highlight reel catches in the outfield this year. As a matter of fact, he was on the Sports Center Catch of the Week one weekend. That weekend we had in CSS the Alabama-Georgia game.
Swing and a miss, way ahead of the let-up for strike 3. 78 miles per hour from Eads. Now, we talked about the youth of this team. Overstreet, Salem, White, all freshmen. It's a great nucleus to build upon in future years. Not that this is a rebuilding year. We're talking about an Alabama team that most people believe will be in the NCAA tournament.
Well, they should be, and they've proven themselves here in this tournament here that they belong. There might have been some question as they came in, but they're playing great baseball right now, and Mitch Gaspard's done a tremendous job with the youth that you see there. The main thing, other than the growth of their hair, has been the growth of the way that they've played baseball this year.
Nice hair analogy, Joe. From a man with a great coif, I might add. 0-1 to Overstreet, catches the corner for strike 2. Mitch Gaspard, who actually started his college career at LSU. He was a longtime assistant under Jim Wells, part of those teams that made the World Series multiple times in the late 90s, including one finish as the runner-up.
You know, and that's important, because Gaspard is good to talk to. You can learn a lot by just sitting down and listening to him about his team and just about the game of baseball.
0-2 just off the plate, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
And I think that he has done a tremendous job with this young ball club. I mean, you take Brett Booth as really the leader of the club with the experience as a senior, but with the youth they're starting four freshmen. And just to bring them together, and then with the leadership of Booth and the coaching of Gaspard and his staff, really has brought Alabama, to a level where they're looking at what they're expecting to be.
One ball, 2 strikes to the freshman second baseman Kyle Overstreet. Ryan Eads, in that 16-inning game these two teams played in the regular season, was the starter, and he got roughed up a bit. LSU wound up winning the game, but it was not one of his better efforts. 2-2. Hit on the ground, Weekly left side. Going to be a tough play for Ibarra. Got him. He has been sensational. Recruited as a shortstop, has settled in very nicely at the hot corner. 1-2-3, nothing across. No score at the end of an inning.
The 2013 SEC Baseball Tournament on CSS is brought to you in part by Tony Chachere's. Tony Chachere's makes everything taste great.
Dangerous part of the lineup due up for the Tigers. Katz, Rhymes, Ibarra. Not an easy out in the bunch for Ozzypok. He fires the first pitch down low. And lines one into right field, a base hit. Just an inside-out swing. And the leadoff man is aboard for the second SEC Player of the Year. takes one inside corner for a strike.
And that's with these bats.
Yeah. Rhymes has such great bat. There's a strike on the outer half, 0-2.
But still, it comes in there with some pop.
Chop to third. 5-4. There's 1. 4-3. There's 2. Double play. The 8th twin killing turned by Alabama.
Great ability that you're going to see with both these clubs with their defense.
Ibarra is terrific defensively, and he's been a heck of a weapon on offense. Not here, however, as Overstreet ranges to his left and makes the play. Another key double play means Ozzie-Pac has faced the minimum in both innings. Middle of the second. Pretty good wind. Unfortunately, it's not going to help the hitters today as we get ready for the bottom of the second. The Crimson Tide will send Moore, White, and Smith to the plate, middle of the order. Ben Moore, who finished with 16 stolen bases, 5th best in the SEC, as you take a glance at the Alabama resume, and it is a good one. One that when you have some success in the SEC tournament.
When you take that and beat those quality teams like that, it just does a lot for you.
Alabama started off Eagles.
Well, it was, and Charlie Sullivan, the pitcher for Alabama, really that first inning is what got him. Came out with just primarily a fastball.
On 2 hops, Bregman, 1 away.
And I think fans here in the Birmingham area are out themselves, and there's still cars coming in the parking lot. We can see out over left field.
Slow roller up the middle. Bregman can't make it. That'll be a base hit. His only chance was to bare hand and throw, and even then, I don't know if you get White. Smith takes one high and away, the first baseman. Out of the stretch, Eads fires a breaking ball and a beauty. Do just enough. Everybody knows their role to put runs on the board.
Well, it is, and you're talking to Mitch Gaspard. That's what he really has built this club on, with a lack of a whole lot of experience.
Smith cranks one down the left field line, but foul.
When try up during the season, they're no longer freshmen, and then you mix that in some experience.
Fly ball deep center, where they go to die here at Hoover Met.
And you mix in the experience with some upperclassmen.
Popped up. Ross throws away the mask right near the Bama dugout. It'll bounce on top of the Bama dugout.
And that's
off the plate outside, 1-1. That a lot of the teams in the field do. Runner goes. Throw down from Ross. Perfect throw. My goodness.
room service.
You can't throw it any better to second base. Good break for White, but a better throw from Ross.
The Win 13 SEC Baseball Tournament on CSS is brought to you in part by Mizuno, helping teams find that next level of greatness since 1906. Mizuno, never settle.
Day number 4 of this SEC tournament, and game number 1 of 2 today. Both you can catch on CSS. LSU, Alabama. LSU won the first one 3-0. The winner gets to take on the Arkansas Razorbacks, who have really surprised the field thus far, not because of their pitching. We all knew how good the Razorbacks were on the mound, but Arkansas is leading the field, hitting .307. Moore, Ross, and Stevenson, the bottom third of the lineup, due up for the Tigers. LSU comes in with 49 wins. They're trying to do something for just the second time in school history. That one catches the outside corner for a strike. Only once in LSU history have the Tigers picked up 50 wins before regional play. There's ball 4, the 3rd consecutive time the Tigers have had the leadoff man aboard. Problem is they keep hitting into double plays. Ty Ross to the plate, and here's what Ty Ross did behind the plate in the last inning.
Just a tremendous throw. I mean, quick hands and feet, and that's being a catcher. You got to come up with just a perfect throw to Katz. It's like room service. Just lay it out there on the table and serve it up.
Katz really didn't have to move the glove. Just put it there and let the ball fall in it. Let the runner run into the glove. Swinging a high fly ball, deep left field, but playable in this park. It's just a bunch of false alarms here at Hoover Met to left field today.
I mean, and Ross hits that ball well, but that wind just holds it up.
Now coming up next here on CSS, more live action. Vanderbilt and Texas A&M. Matt Stewart, who is back feeling 100%, no bullpen necessary. Rusty Enzer, the hardest working man in the SEC tournament, the Knoxville Knocker.
I was impressed the other night. I was watching the game, and lo and behold, after working the day game with you, and relief pitcher comes in. What'd you think of it? How was that? How was your evening?
It was a new
evening. You had a good evening going, I'm sure.
I had a nice. There's a place across the street, a little Japanese, little sushi plate. Had some California rolls, some salmon, and next thing I know, I get
phone call in the bullpen.
Yeah, the bat phone was ringing.
Yeah.
And the person that called, typically, he doesn't call me just in the middle of the day to socialize. It's usually something important. And got the word that Matt was feeling very ill and came on over. And
hey, they brought in the ace and you slammed the door, didn't you?
Well, you know, Joe, I learned from you, a major league bullpen guy. I said, I know what Joe Beckwith would do. Lasorda would have said, hey, Joe, we need you. I mean, you never hesitated, right?
No, just come right on out there and close the door and do a great job. And just tremendous.
Well, thank you.
I was quite impressed.
I just put down the chopsticks, headed on over. Nice bunt by Stevenson. Bang, bang play at first, but he is out. The sacrifice is true. And a runner in scoring position for LSU with 2 away.
Well, and some at home might say, well, why are you bunting with 1 out? The key thing is runs come by premium here. You can see Ozzie Pike does a good job of getting to the ball, makes a strong throw to first to get out to Speedy Stevenson. But now you've got the top of the lineup coming up after advancing your runner to second base. A lot of options here now for LSU, but the key there is for Paul Maneri, feels a lot more confidence with his top of the lineup up with McMullen and possibly Laird than maybe he did with Stevenson.
McMullen looks at a fastball strike.
If anything, he was trying to stay out of a double play.
Mm-hmm. Well, LSU has already hit into 2 of them. And Alabama seems to be turning them almost every other inning.
Got a ball down the left field line. The kid's out there playing. It, ball hopped over the fence. I mean, they've had a party every game, just all day long. These kids get out there in left field and have a good time.
It's a cool place to be, and Andrew Miller just threw that one up for grabs. They might want him to do that again. By the way, I mentioned LSU trying to do something they've only done once in history, 50 wins before the start of the postseason. They did that the last time in 1986, Skip Bertman's first trip to Omaha. Skip Bertman, a guy that knew a thing or two about winning games, national titles. They've got the new ballpark now in Baton Rouge, which is beautiful. I still love the billboard and the Intimidator, they would call it, that had a baseball signifying every one of those national titles.
Excuse me, Mike. It's like my days when I was pitching at Auburn and would go to Baton Rouge. I'd love to go there and play. I mean, even though it was the older part, but it's still just the atmosphere was tremendous back then, back in the 70s, and it's much more so today with the stadium that they've built. And you take all across the the SEC with the stadiums that these universities have built and the support that they're getting for baseball programs is tremendous.
Yeah, and you won't find a better fan base than the one LSU has for the sport. This ball ticketed for the gap, and it'll get down and roll all the way to the wall. Scoring easily on the play is Moore. On his way to third is McMullen, and he'll be there. No, he won't. Rung up by third base umpire. It's actually the second base umpire covering over there, Randy Harvey. A close play at third to hit McMullen, a run batted in, and give LSU the lead, a 7-6-5 out. 1-0 our score. Here in the home half of the third with LSU leading it 1-0. Could have had a runner at third. Watch this play defensively for Bama.
Well, the key was a good throw to Mikey White from the left fielder, Andrew Miller, and then White makes a strong throw to Roberts. And that's the thing as far as your cutoff. These are things you work out a lot in practice. Are throws like this, hitting your cutoff man is just a quick tag. Looks like Roberts did get it back, did get the tag down before McMullen really hits the base with his hands there. Kind of gets him right on the back. It's a good play all around, really. And for McMullen, there's always a saying you don't want to make the first or third out at third base. There for McMullen, the ball was hit in front of him.
Line shot speared out of the air by Katz for out number one.
The ball was hit in front of McMullen, so he saw the play all the way in front of him, and he thought he could beat that throw coming in, but couldn't at third base.
Here's Miller, the left fielder. Popped him up. Yeah, that's Sun coming down the third base line, and foul ground is Ibarra for out number two.
And not only was that a good play, as Ibarra's coming in, that wind's blowing the ball again towards the home plate area. But the pitcher there for Eads was making the call, and that, as a pitcher on the mound, you've got to be able to, the leader, once that ball gets in there, you're the leader, and you're going to make the call as far as who's going to make that play. And you can see Ross just get out of the way there and let Ibarra come in.
Hit on the screws, but right at the center fielder, Stevenson, for out number three. Best inning of the day for Eads. He's faced the minimum through three. Our score, LSU 1 and Alabama 0.
2013 SEC Baseball Tournament on CSS is brought to you in part by Third Shift Amber Lager. When beer is your calling, you never clock out.
Set to go top of the fourth inning. It's LSU 1, Alabama 0. 2, 3, 4 due up for the Bayou Bengals. Laird, Bregman, and Katz. Laird bounced into one of those double plays early in the game. 1-6-3. Started off by Mike Ozipak, who's making his fourth start of the year. He actually took the loss out of the bullpen in that 16-inning game in the regular season.
The key to that, I believe, was that bunt there by Stevenson, moving the runner up.
Going to be a tough play. Can Ozipak get there in time? No.
Great speed.
Laird wins the foot race. Infield single. How about this? All 4 innings, LSU has had the leadoff man aboard now.
They do. But back to that, Mike, it's important. One, you got to throw. You want to try to throw first pitch strikes against this LSU team, and then you want to try to get that first out. If you can't do either one of those, you're setting yourself up for a short day on the mound.
Now this is where the lineup gets scary for Bregman out of Albuquerque, New Mexico.
On Ozipak.
Pitch out.
And that they'll make the mistake.
The second batter has been unable to do much of anything good, including a couple double plays. Lazy fly to left, and that trend continues now for LSU.
He just really sticky and mucky, just that feeling of working up here in the hot weather and the sweaty. But
usually it's been a combination of part of the country. Perfect. Runner on the go as the pitch is fouled away.
Got another ball down the right field line.
Katz single to right his first time up. A healthy cut.
They're driving that ball to right also.
Swing and a miss. Tardy on the fastball, and the throw down to first. Lair beats the wrap. For Ozzypok. Off the hands into short right, and Moore dropped it. And the wind might have made that a little bit more difficult. He had a lot of ground to cover already.
They cannot afford to give up extra bases for LSU.
You are so right. You can't dwell on it. You see a lot of young pitchers do that. Inside for ball 2. Three and one. He had the
at 3-0. You see some batters will go up there and they'll get 3-0. They'll swing at anything.
Inside and hit him. Moore takes one over the plate for a strike. Great opportunity to break this game wide open. Bounce to first. Tough play. Smith recovers and takes it to the bag himself.
Did you say that was just a great play there by Smith as he just blocks it almost like a hockey goalie to keep it in front of him? I mean, just tremendous play there for the third out.
Two up, Roberts, Salem, Overstreet, a combined 0 for 3 against Ryan Eads, who has been sharp thus far, working on a one-hit shutout. And that one speared by Ibarra, a rocket to third. Quick reaction and a nice play by the LSU third baseman.
The hot play.
Salem takes the first pitch here, try to change that rhythm a little bit. Nope. How about 4 outs on 4 pitches?
Well, that's the thing. You have a pitcher like Eads. He's concentrating today on throwing strikes. For Alabama,
Overstreet, you got to take the first pitch here, right?
Right. He's gone to a 3-pitch inning so far with the first 2 batters. Got out of that. Now you need your pitcher to rest a little bit.
Overstreet to third. Ibarra. Oh, he's fun to watch over there, isn't he?
Great job.
Sure-handed. Another economical inning for Eads. He is cruising along. When we come back, we'll hear from LSU head coach Paul Maneri. Head coach Paul Maneri, and coach, obviously some golden opportunities for your squad thus far, but unable to cash in quite a few times.
I know we've had the leadoff hitter on base all 4 times. Obviously the 2 double plays hurt us a lot, and in that inning we just needed one good swing there. We just couldn't get it. So a lot of baseball to play though.
There is, coach. And another thing, just looks like you're really trying to pressure Alabama into some mistakes and getting your team started, you know, on the base paths and doing some things just to kind of confuse Alabama.
Well, the first couple of innings, they know my reputation. I like to run and hit and run, and I thought the first pitch for both those hitters that they might do a little quasi pitch out, if not a real pitch out. So I didn't put it on. They threw first pitch strikes, and we just couldn't get a good count. We ended up hitting into double plays, so it didn't work out for us.
All right, coach. Thank you so much for the time. This is the 5th straight inning that LSU has gotten the leadoff man aboard.
It is, and for Ross, just drives the ball to the left center field for the, for a hit here, and it's just a matter now. You're getting in a situation, Mike, that for Ozzypok really has not pitched a great deal this year, and how long are you willing to go before you get that bullpen up? And right now, Alabama does not have any action in the bullpen. Matter of fact, they don't have anybody down in the bullpen. So for Mitch Gaspard, he's got to start looking at that, here in the 5th inning.
Well, you're playing with fire, that's for sure. Third baseman cheating in. That's Roberts almost halfway down the line as Stevenson squares. Successful bunt his first time to the plate. You see Roberts already 2 feet on the grass, and he'll start creeping in here in a moment. There it is, his way. Then it'll be the catcher gunning to second. Wow, what a play by Booth.
Like a cat comes out behind the plate. He knew where he was going from the start there. He had his eye going to second base. As he comes out quickly, you'll see him, he just makes a great play, but his whole mindset was to go to second base, knowing that he could get Ross there. Just tremendous play.
I didn't think he even would consider going to second when that ball first came off the bat of Stevenson. Like you said, he pounced on it. That was challenge number 1 and a sensational throw.
Well, we saw a play the other day when Alabama played LSU where there was a bunt out in front. It was a pitcher's call the whole way, and Booth really came out and interfered with the pitcher on a late throw, but or fortunately they got the runner out. But in that situation there, you saw Booth, from the time that the ball was laid down on the ground, his whole intention was to go get that ball and attack second base.
Third time through the order for the Tigers. McMullen has singled and doubled in a run.
A similar situation is back there in the 3rd inning when McMullen hit the drive in left center field. Andrew Miller really has not moved. He's in the same position he is now, respecting that. Georgie Salem, the center fielder, has moved more towards left center field. Huge gap in right center field between Salem and Ben Moore. You can see here on your screen if he can get the ball there in right center field, he can run forever with that one.
He's got some speed. 1-0. Catches the outside corner for strike 1. LSU winning 3 of the 4 meetings so far this year, and they've done something I can't remember the last time another team did this. They have defeated Alabama here in Hoover in this SEC tournament 4 consecutive games. That's not easy to do against Alabama.
No.
Both these teams have had outstanding success in this event. LSU winning it more times than anybody else. A lot of attention given to Andrew Stevenson, who actually just expanded his lead off the bag at first. You see that more, it seems like, Joe, at the collegiate level, where pitcher throws to first a bunch of times, but typically the move is not the caliber of a guy you would see at minor major league level, and so he keeps throwing over there to first, but the lead's not getting any shorter for the base runner.
No, it's not. But a lot of times that you see pitchers throwing to first base, that's been called from the dugout. In this situation, they're trying to, really want to keep him close because, you've got a great batter here up with McMullen, who's a spray-type hitter, can drive the ball anywhere in the outfield. And their object right now for Alabama is they're pitching him away. Everything that they're going with is away. Anything that he's going to throw inside, he's got to keep the ball. Ozipak's got to keep the ball off the plate the way the defense is set up.
Strike 3 call.
Well, he comes in with a good inside fastball, kind of what we were talking about there, but it's got to be enough inside that he's going to jam himself up, and you just see they've gone away, away, away. Then they come in with a slider down and in, and for McMullen just really could not pull the trigger. Just a tremendous pitch there by Ozipak.
Second strikeout for the right-hander. Now Mark Laird, 1 for 2, an infield single his last time up. Laird at 287. LSU over the years always seems to have the same formula in their lineup. A couple of really good table setters at the top. Speed guys, not much power. And then 3, 4, 5, look out.
Well, that's what Paul Maneri is setting his club up for. I mean, it's just tremendous the way that he does that. But still, you've got to have these guys, these 1 and 2, to get on base for those guys to come up behind them. You know, here's a similar situation. They're trying to keep the ball away. You can get something in on this pitch here. Good fastball there. But you can see by the way the outfielders playing, they're setting up defensively to pitch Laird away, hoping that he would, hit the ball towards the left side of the field. Come inside more here on this pitch.
Runner goes. Chopped over to first. Smith, soft hands, makes the play. Side retired. Ozipak continues to play with fire, does not get burned. Ben Moore will lead things off. The things you picked up on with this Alabama roster, 4 guys who have had Tommy John surgery, a very common surgery now, and you had a chance to talk to a guy that knows a thing or two about that surgery.
Well, I did this past weekend at the Alabama Sports Hall of Fame here in Birmingham. I got with Jim Andrews, and we had a long conversation concerning the surgery and he is seeing more and more kids coming in now with the bad elbow and eventually turns into a Tommy John surgery. And he said it's kind of like a tachometer. They've got down at Pensacola where they have the research center, but it's like a tachometer, a race car driver, as you saw in Days of Thunder there when Tom Cruise blew his engine. And for Jim Andrews, the way he explained it, he said these kids in high school, that they all want to go to college and get a 100-mile-an-hour fastball or a 90-mile-an-hour fastball. But, he said the average kid should be throwing about 80 miles an hour. That arm is just kind of purring. And then you get up to 85 miles per hour, and all of a sudden you get kind of a warning light. But for kids in high school that get up to 90 miles an hour, you are a prime Tommy John candidate at some time in your future. But a lot of that, too, will depend on the mechanics. If you've got the proper mechanics and you're taught the mechanics of throwing a fastball and even with the curveball, because you hear so much about kids these days, 10, 11, 12 years old, throwing curveballs, and then they eventually have the surgery.
Leadoff walk for Alabama. Ben Moore will meander to first.
But he said that if a kid is taught the proper mechanics to throw a curveball, he will not have problems. But the problem is out there's just not enough coaches or dads with the experience to teach kids how to throw that curveball. But that's something that everybody wants to watch out for as you're growing up. The speed is not necessarily so. It's just like Paul Maneri, the coach for LSU. He has said that he doesn't necessarily have to have overpowering pitchers. He wants pitchers with control, and you can develop the speed throughout your career, especially in college, as you grow up and you mature and your body grows into your arm grows into your body.
This one could be a gapper. If it gets down, it will. Past the diving Stevenson, all the way to the wall. Moore rounding third. He's in. Over to third is White, and Alabama has tied it up.
What we had talked about earlier, Mike, is balls out in left field. We just did not think that they were going to carry. We saw McMullen back in the third hit a ball out there, and for this ball for White, he just drives it. A diving try by Stevenson, can't come up with it, and the importance of Rhymes to come over, but Stevenson gets back up and gets base. Just a tremendous play there and a hit by Mikey White.
We highlighted White in the open in large part to his defense. How about offensively, White? First triple of the year. Alabama has both triples in this SEC tournament.
Well, and the thing is, Mike, is the outfielders are playing in just because of the wind, but still there are times you're going to drive that ball and it just cuts through that wind there as that one did.
They have finally gotten to Ryan Eads a little bit.
Now go to work. Your job, baby.
Ryan Eads thus far 45 pitches.
You take a pitcher like Eads, I mean, here he is, 45 pitches, and he's in his 5th inning. I mean, it's just a tremendous job of maintaining your pitch count, keeping your pitches down. And here for Alabama is swing and miss. They've been aggressive, but just have not been able to get to Eads.
Second strikeout for the right-hander. He needed it. In a key spot, Brett Booth will come to the plate. Joe, that was great stuff.
See the strikeout here on a breaking ball down in the dirt. And Booth just kind of swings through it.
It's great stuff from you, Joe, on the Tommy John. And the one thing that coaches continually tell me is that all this talk about pitch counts and innings pitched for guys that get to the big league level, so much of that is overblown. But it's pitchers, particularly even now in high school and the AAU ball, how many innings they're logging, it's just an insane amount.
Well, it starts really where you're 10 to 12 years old in this travel ball. I mean, that's become just crazy. I mean, it's like I live in Auburn. There's a number of travel ball teams, but none of them have ever gone on to, some have gone to major college, but none of them have ever gone on to play professional baseball. And they're just wearing these kids out. Almost a safety squeeze here by Alabama. As you can see, the runner, White, was coming down the line. But the problem is, and these parents, you really have got to be careful with these kids, because one thing that Dr. Andrews told me is he came into his office a couple weeks ago, and he had 4 appointments. His first 4 appointments were kids between the age of 12 and 15, and each one of them had Tommy John surgery.
Right. And that's where somebody has to keep an eye on those coaches.
Yeah.
1-1 to Booth, serves it into right field. Alabama takes the lead 2-1 as White touches home plate.
Well, and for Booth, just a great job there. Takes the pitch where it's thrown. It's ball down and away from him, and he just serves it into right field. Really did not want to get up there and try to pull the ball to his fastball away. And you can just see him just drive the ball to right, is out over the plate. Just a good job of hitting by Booth to take that ball and hit it where it was thrown. You know, that's the thing about Alabama, Mike, in this series, as well as late in the season. If you watch them bat, they just don't look, as you said earlier, they're not a power hitting club.
No eye-popping numbers on the stat sheet.
No, but they get up there, and they get a base hit here, a base hit there, you move some runners over, then all of a sudden somebody does pop one like White did, but they're able to hang into these ball games and play aggressively and try to make the other team make mistakes. But there by Booth on that base hit, I mean, he did what was necessary. Instead of trying to pull the ball, his job was basically to hit the ball in the outfield to try to get that run in from third.
Miller takes one on the inside corner for a strike.
You know, what's interesting about Booth, really, he was going to be the third baseman this year for Alabama, as they had a junior college transfer. Wade Wass had come in, was an All-American junior college player. He got hurt in early spring practice and then was ready to start playing for Alabama. Kind of just about quarter of the way through the preseason, came up to bat late in the game against Louisville, where Alabama had a good, I'm not sure if it was Louisville, but anyway, they had a good-sized lead, so he's just going to pinch hit. Re-injured himself, and really redshirt Wass, and had to put Booth back behind the plate.
Miller right off the thumbs and over the screen out of play.
You know, and for Booth, he's had to catch just almost every game this year, but the leadership that he has given to Alabama has really put them and helped them to be in a position that they're in.
Oh-2 pitch, got him.
Good breaking ball.
Strikeout number 3 for Ryan Eads.
You'll see here as far as Eads here, he starts him off with a good hard fastball inside, kind of setting himself up. Foul pitch there, then he comes back with a breaking ball down and in. I mean, just couldn't find better location than what he had on those 3 pitches.
2 away for the 9th man in the order, the designated hitter, Chance Vincent. Bama with 2 runs in the inning. It all started with that dreaded leadoff walk for Eads. And the RBI triple for White. RBI single for Brett Booth, the catcher, who draws a throw. Eads, one of the hardest throwers on the team. He'll touch the mid-90s. LSU with some terrific starting pitching this year, at times lethal. The 1-0 over for a strike. Of course, LSU's had several great pitchers over the years. Last year, their ace, Kevin Gossman. Here we are, less than 12 months later. He makes his big league debut yesterday for the Orioles.
Well, you know, Mike, and that's something that we've talked about throughout this series, too, is if you take your high school kid, for you kids coming out of high school that expect to get drafted, you know, and even the college players out of junior college, or even your junior players here, you know, going to college out of high school is not that bad. Really, if you can go to an SEC school, it's almost like the minor leagues, and you're really playing in some great ballparks. You're playing against great competition. You're getting bigger, you're getting stronger, and having opportunities, you know, to grow and really advance your career for it comes time to be a junior or a senior and make the pros.
Hit hard, but at the center fielder Stevenson for out number 3. But Bama finally cracks the code of Ryan Eads. A triple, a single, a walk, and most importantly, 2 runs to take the lead.
Situations with leadoff batters on every inning so far, but he's buckled down.
He has, Joe. You know, he's commanding both sides of the plate, and he's a command guy, and right now he's doing a nice job using both sides.
All right, Coach, we'll let you get back to it. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
Bregman, Katz, Rhymes, 3-4-5 due up for LSU, and the question is, can Ozzie-Pak get that first out to start off an inning?
Well, that's the key. You would think that anytime a pitcher gets behind each inning with a runner on base or even on the count, it's difficult, you know, to pitch. And as we mentioned last inning, Alabama's bullpen was empty. Well, the relief pitchers have made their way down there, and I think that now you're going to see a short string on Ozzie-Pak as he's pitched really well into the 6th. Ooh. Where's that cup?
It didn't hit the cup this time. I think it might have got her in the little deltoid there.
There you go.
Oh, look at that.
There you go.
Look at that.
Hey, there's her grandson there just working on it.
That's love right there. Joe, I know you would do the same thing for me if I got pelted by a baseball here in the booth.
If I can remember last year about this time, Mike, we were standing here just having a conversation between innings. Foul ball comes up.
Yes. I'm looking at you having a conversation when the ball comes right toward my head, and of course I drop it, and rather than console me, you mocked me profusely. Fly ball to left, staggering before making the catch in left field is Miller. Yeah, this booth right here, we could do 100 games and never have a ball come in here. And so I thought it was pretty safe. Foul ball. I'm talking to Joe. He's making a good point as he normally does. Next thing I know, I see his eyes light up, and I turn around, and there it is coming at me, and I kind of give the old, yes, exactly.
There we are. There, that ball was coming right at him. I reached right in front of it, and Mike, you know, we're sitting there, and the ball comes back, and I go like that. Mike goes, all of a sudden he's down.
That's right.
Know, just.
That's right. Yes,
but our great crew in the booth, they caught that good action there.
Did they ever? Yeah, a frozen shot just to embarrass the Morgan family name. Cat strokes a single into right field for a base hit. Yeah, it took me a while to live that one down.
You'll see here for Cat, just a breaking ball that's down and away, and really just a good hitter just takes that pitch where it's pit, take that ball and just hit it where it's thrown into right field.
Rhymes with 1 on, 1 out. They're working on the
little ice pack going.
I like that. That guy's prepared right there.
Little EMS crew.
Need to bring him on my next camping trip.
Could
it be another one?
Look at that.
Wow, the tag applied, slapped down by Smith. Bama does it again. 9th double play turned by the Tide in this tournament. Incredible. They make it look easy.
To win.
Oh, goodness. Well, there were some great moves in that highlight package. I don't know about the guy in the booth.
Was that the shuffle?
I don't know what that was.
That was the Morgan shuffle.
That must have been after the sushi during that pinch hitting appearance.
I'm sure your Twitter, Morgan on Air, will light up.
Yeah, well, they'll probably want copies of those dance moves so they can apply them themselves. Goodness gracious. 1-1 pitch to Roberts off the plate outside. Roberts, the leadoff man, 0 for 2. Eads was rolling along, no pun intended, through the first 4 innings. And Alabama touched him up for a pair in the 5th. Deep short and under the glove of Bregman. Base hit for Roberts. Now Alabama's starting to get the leadoff man aboard.
Well, they are, and for Bregman, I mean, it's a ball deep in the hole. He's moving to his right, and with Robert's speed, Bregman knows that he's got to catch the ball, make a quick throw going away from first base there, and it'd been difficult even if he had caught the ball to be able to throw Roberts out at first.
Here's Salem, the cousin of former Alabama Crimson Tider Emil Salem. His father played for Bear Bryant at Alabama on the football team. There's a lot of Salems in the state of Alabama. Good bunt. Only play will be to first for Ibarra. And a runner in scoring position for the Tide. Well, don't forget, you can always watch SEC Tonight, the most in-depth coverage of your favorite SEC teams and sports. SEC Tonight, weeknights at 7 on CSS. That'll be coming up after this ball game, and then before the next one, Matt and Rusty will have you set with Vanderbilt against Texas A&M. Can the Aggies continue their string of upsets? They might have played themselves into the NCAA tournament.
Talk about your tweeting with your Morgan on Air, as people tweet you throughout, and you keep asking me when I'm going to get mine. Ooh, tremendous catch.
What a great catch by Laird. I was already set to put single in my scorebook for Overstreet. Laird says, no, I've got it.
Boy, that was, and that ball was just kind of going away from Laird out in right field. He just lays his body out, makes a tremendous play, and a good catch there. Really saves a run for LSU. As for Roberts, really couldn't make a commitment. And he's still on second. Sometimes you see a ball hit the right field, you want to tag up and go, but there Roberts was kind of watching that play and seeing if Laird makes the play. If the ball gets by Laird, I mean, people are going to be running forever.
Boy, have we seen some great defense in this game.
Tremendous, tremendous. But you've got your tweet. I've got my Twixter and my got some good Alabama and LSU fans down in Destin that had twixted me a while ago.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Was that a candy bar? What is that?
They got right off the golf course and then just watching us.
Yeah. Little family photo. I appreciated that.
Yeah. Joe Kowalski and Joe Oder and the big Bama fans and LSU fans. So they're enjoying it down there. Just a great ball game all over. I mean, as you said, we've seen some great plays, some timely hitting. That's the important thing.
Well, you have to have timely hitting to score runs in this event.
Yes.
Because you're not going to hit a lot of home runs. You're not going to have a lot of extra base hits.
Well, it just shows you the quality, too, of the defense that these teams have and what they've brought to the table today.
Moore taps one foul. By the way, I was speaking to a representative of the Southeastern Conference earlier today, and we were talking about this ballpark and how it plays for this event. And he said that's definitely something on the docket. They are very much considering moving the fences in.
Well, you and I have had several conversations about that. As a matter of fact, you asked me the other day, what would you move it in? 10, 15 feet. Now, you've got to put some more excitement in this. Now, as far as your regular season with the teams.
Swing and a miss, strike three. Will pick up on that thought, Joe. But give Eads credit. When you needed it most, he found his strikeout pitch and holds the Tide at bay. We are moving along quickly on to the 7th 2-1 game.
13 SEC Baseball Tournament on CSS is brought to you by Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC.
Beautiful day here at Hoover, Alabama. Day number 4 of this SEC tournament. Mike Morgan, Joe Beckwith on a Friday afternoon. First of 2 ball games. Later on, it'll be Vanderbilt battling Texas A&M, the surprise team of the tournament thus far. Ibarra starting things off for the LSU 7th. 1-6-0 for the Tigers, 2-4-1 for the Tide. LSU trying to defeat Bama for the 5th straight time in this event. Ibarra bounced out to second his first time up and was hit by a pitch in the 4th.
Mike, we go back to that last inning with the possibly moving the fences in. You can take each SEC team, they've got their field set where they want as far as their dimensions, and I don't want to take anything away from that. But when you come to a tournament like this and there's no longer a minor league baseball team that's playing here like the Birmingham Barons, they've moved downtown. Here's 340 down the lines. You've got great power alleys in 405. And the lack of home runs are really the excitement. In this tournament, there's enough excitement, and you're seeing it with the pitching and the defense, that really fans want to come out and see some offense.
I'm with you on that. 2-2 pitch. You know, sometimes it's hard to find a consensus on anything. We could argue a number of different things in baseball all day long. I don't think there's too many people that would put up resistance about moving in these fences a few feet.
No, I think the coaches and the players would like seeing that too. I mean, this is probably the biggest park that these guys will play in. I mean, everybody has their own little thing about their ballpark, and there are some gorgeous ballparks in the SEC. You know, I don't want to sit here and name names, but because every one of them has a great ballpark. But this park here is a tremendous park. The playing field. You and I were on the field earlier today.
Ibarra cuts and misses for strike 3, and now has a new season high for innings pitched in a game for Ozypok, 6 1/3.
Well, you're going to see just a powerful pitch here as a slider that was down and in. And you can just see the confidence growing in Ozypok as he's on the mound. The first 5 innings, leadoff batter got on base, and then finally in the 6th inning, leadoff, he got Bergman to fly out to left field, and here he strikes out with the first batter, Ibarra. And now he really wants to, just settling in, got control of his pitches, and just you want to try to keep things down here in these situations.
1 ball, 1 strike to Tyler Moore.
We've seen some balls hit today, which surprisingly out in left center field. One by LSU with McMullen, and then Mikey White. That really surprisingly, but you got to give credit too to the batters, because the way that they were defense, they were able to hit the ball in those gaps.
Ozzie Pac with 3 strikeouts. It's been the double plays that have really kept him in good shape in this game to wiggle out of a couple of early jams. 2-2, and he waves goodbye, does Moore. How about 4 strikeouts for Ozzie Pac?
Well, he gets away with an off-speed pitch that was up in the zone a little bit. Just really had Moore out in front of himself. You just see the pitches away. Just a good pitch there that's up in the zone. And really, in that pitch there for Moore is something you want to consider, maybe driving that ball to left.
First pitch strike to Ross.
You see a rhythm right now.
Yeah.
Just give me the ball and let me throw it. I feel confident. I got a good slider going. I got a good changeup that's tailing away on lefties, and my fastball is right there.
Pop up near second. Now drifting toward the first baseman, Smith, who puts the squeeze on it for out number 3. 1, 2, 3, nothing across. Time to stand up and stretch. It's Alabama 2, LSU 1.
2013 SEC Baseball Tournament on CSS. Time now for the Tony Chachere's game recap. Turn your same-ol into Creole with Tony Chachere's new sandwich sauces. Tony Chachere's makes everything taste great.
Won't take long to recap this one.
No.
LSU jumping on top with an RBI double in the 3rd inning, then in the 5th. Mikey White, an RBI triple, followed up by Brett Booth with an RBI single. And that would make it 2-1. Just 4 hits for Alabama. They have made them count. LSU has had several more base runners, but they have hit into a couple of key double plays. And give Mike Ozzie Pac credit, the best performance of the year for that young man. A season-high 7 innings. He's got 4 strikeouts. He's thrown 90 pitches and seems to be getting better as the game moves along.
And Mike, you don't know what this does for a kid that, again, as we talked about at the start of the game, he was a walk-on pitcher for Alabama that got cut, and then he came back, went to play some summer ball, and came back this year and made the squad. And right now for Mitch Gaspart's looking great with the decision he's made with this choice today.
White strokes it in the air to left. Rhymes will angle back and put it away for out number 1.
And I think with that wind blowing in today, the ball's carrying better to left than what we've seen really the whole series.
Yeah. The air actually feels a little bit thinner.
You don't have that, like we talked about, it's just that you don't have that hot, that real thick, muggy air just holding the balls up. And, it's a little bit cooler, less humidity, and the ball's really traveling better.
Smith hammers one deep center. Stevenson on his horse, and now has to actually lunge forward to make the catch.
You see Stevenson go back. He goes way back, and all of a sudden, whoops, that wind catches it. I got to come up. He comes up and makes the play.
Booth takes a fastball high. I got to tell you, normally this is the part of the tournament where you start to see pitching drop off a bit because a lot of teams have used their best arms. Obviously, Ryan Eads is still one of the best arms for LSU, but pitching today has been terrific. Ozzie Pac and Eads, they both have really suffocated the strike zone. Very few walks, very few 3-ball counts.
Well, it is. It's been tremendous. If you look at the first game we had.
Bregman vacuums it up and makes the play. A fast 1-2-3 inning for Ryan Eads. On to the 8th. Bama on top 2-1. He represents the tying run. Moore in the batter's box. 2 outs. We're in the 9th. First pitch down low. Swing and a miss. By the way, you don't hear this done often, but I'll do it now. Tony Mayners, home plate umpire, one of the best in the business.
Oh, yeah, he's done a tremendous job. I mean, no arguing today. You know, I mean, nobody's even said a word about it. And you got 2 pitchers out there pitch that well. He's done a good job.
Always been fond of his work for many years in the SEC.
Well, the thing is, you want to focus. You want to let the crowd enjoy the game with the pitchers out there and not have to worry, you know, with umpiring being a detriment to it. But that is not happening today. Just these umpires in the SEC, they all just do a great job.
Count now 3-1.
You know, kind of Ozzie Pike, you see, just kind of aiming these last couple of pitches. Just kind of aiming these last couple of pitches. Taking a little bit off of his fastball, just trying to get it over the plate.
Sorry, Joe.
Mitch Gaspard there. He's got a dry throat right now, trying to get a little Gatorade going.
The 3-1 pitch. Grooves that one over for strike 2. Pitch number 117.
Threw him a 3-1 changeup. This situation shows you the confidence he's got out there. You just really got to rear back and be confident in your pitches here and go hard.
The payoff hit back our way. Alabama fans on their feet right now.
Got the big rivalry in football between Alabama and LSU, and here it is bleeding over to the baseball park.
Keep in mind, Bama has lost 4 straight in this tournament to LSU. Ozzie Pike looks in. Another payoff. Fly ball. Slicing. Foul ground and into the seats.
Ball boy down there like he got run over. Kenny Roberts it was something to see the effort by all the Alabama players going out. And Kenny Roberts is going down into the ball boy. He comes running. You see the ball. Look at the ball boy who's going to make the catch. he had that ball.
Mom!
And Kenny Roberts, there you go, boys. He said, well, I had it, but I said, no, I was going to let Kenny catch that thing.
Player got in the way. The 8th pitch of the at-bat. Line shot, right center field, base hit. There was a big gap out there. Salem tracks it down, rounding third, and coming home, LSU ties it.
3-2 to count with 2 outs. The runner's running. The ball's hitting the perfect place out in right center field with the opportunity to run it for the runner to go all the way from first to home. Big base hit, big double by Tyler Moore. You'll see here, just gets a pitch that he can drive kind of down and in a little bit, drives it in the right center field. You know, right fielder Ben Moore was playing more towards the line. Georgia Salem in the left center field, just a big hit there. Mitch Gaspard out to the mound to talk to his pitcher.
And now it's the LSU fans making their presence known. They haven't had much to cheer about since the top of the 3rd inning. Have we finally seen the end of Mike Ozzie Pike, who has put together a memorable performance, but it looks like the tank finally has run on empty. We'll tell you about the new Tide pitcher when we return. Tie ball game from Hoover. Delivered one heck of a performance here today. Just ran out of gas, and again, LSU, they can rally against the best of them. A great ovation as Ozzie Pike goes back to the dugout. They got everything they could possibly ask for and more out of that young man. And now it's going to be up to the bullpen as the Tigers have the go-ahead run at second base.
Well, it is, and it's Jay Shaw who's coming on to pitch. This will be his 14th appearance. Be his 5th appearance in the SEC. 2-1 record, ERA 1.4. Came in Tuesday against Auburn. Threw 5 shutout innings. Got the victory there. Pitched really well. Kept Alabama in the game. Opportunity to score runs late. This situation here, you really got to focus on this one batter trying to get that one out and give Alabama a chance to come in and bat.
Ty Ross is 1 for 3, a single back in the 5th. LSU out hitting Alabama 10-4 and finally evening up the runs column at 2. Hot shot through the hole left field. Here comes more. They green light him and no throw. The Tigers have taken the lead here in the 9th.
A pitch by Shaw that's inside, and you can just see where Ross really opens his body up, gets those hands in, drives it just to the left of Kenny Roberts in the left field for a base hit. I mean, this is an LSU team that you can't give up on, and they're showing right now why they're ranked, as high as they are and as good as they are in the SEC.
Clutch hitting by LSU. If you follow LSU baseball over the years, you've become used to them doing stuff like this. The game truly is never over when you got LSU around. Bouncer to first. Smith takes care of it, but the damage is done. The Tigers rack up 2 runs on 4 hits, and there's your hero. Ross, RBI single. 3-2 our score. You missed a lot. Alabama was in control. Mike Ozipak was in control and en route to his first complete game. But with 2 outs, after Rafe Rhymes hit into a double play, Ibarra gets a single. Tyler Moore with an RBI double. Ty Ross drives in a run, the go-ahead run. And now if you're Alabama, you got to face one of the nation's best closers in Chris Cotton. 13 saves on the year, including one against the Tide just a couple days ago.
Comes in with the ERA of 1.57, 3-1 record, 13 saves. LSU lead after 8 innings lead is 42-0. And this is, again, we mentioned this earlier in the tournament, but for the top teams in the SEC or even in the country, but in the SEC in particular, this is the type of guy you got to have on the mound, before you win and to close out these games. And if you look at the top teams, everyone has a Chris Cotton on their team.
Well, we were talking so much today about Ozipak, the fact that he was a walk-on. So is this young man, Chris Cotton. Not a hard thrower. He barely touches 90, if that. But he has terrific stuff. You saw the curveball there as a great changeup. He's left-handed, and he's been very effective this year.
Gets really good movement on his fastball as a left-hander is. Kind of drops down a little bit, 3/4. It just does a good job there. You see a slider down in the dirt. But that's the thing, he mixes his pitches up well. He's not afraid to come in on lefties as well as right-handers.
Keep in mind, Alabama has won both their games in this SEC tournament in their final at-bat. The 1-2 from the lefty. Got him swinging.
Good breaking ball there. Really had Salem out on his front foot. Took a little bit off of it. Took a little bit off the breaking ball. You see it's down and away. Just a good pitch there and had Salem out front just a little bit.
Now Overstreet. Strike 1 at the knees. Overstreet is 0 for 3. He hit it on the ground twice, and he flied out to right.
Now in this situation here, Cotton's got several options. As you said, he got a good sinker, throw something down and away, got a good changeup, throw that down and away. Get a fastball, maybe come in on his hands, knock him off the plate a little bit. Come in with a high fastball up above the letters.
The 0-2, got him. Inside corner, paints it for the second out of the inning.
Throws the fastball, he said, trying to knock the batter off the plate, but catches that corner. Just a great pitch as Cotton has come in and just really in control, having these Alabama batters confused with the pitches that he's going with.
Final hope for the Tide is Ben Moore.
Good change up there. You can really see Moore way out front, just off the end of his bat. The batters go back to the dugout there and they tell the other hitters what this guy's got. Hitters got everybody away. He's got a good fastball, tail frame, with changeup's unbelievable, and a good slider. Now you go up to bat, and you really don't know what you're expecting.
The other thing you like about him, he throws strikes.
Yes.
And that's something Paul Mainieri is very big on. He doesn't need a flamethrower. Just give me a closer who fills up the zone. And already he's ahead in the count to Moore. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nice job of fighting that one off. The Tide did see Cotton in the regular season and actually roughed him up a bit. He blew a save against them in that 16-inning game, the game that eventually LSU went on to win. So they have hit him before. Swing and a miss, strike 3. LSU wins and advances to the semis. Joe Beckwith, we have been entertained by a number of games thus far in this SEC tournament. This one was as entertaining as any of them.
Well, it was, with the low scoring that the SEC tournament they've had. But I'm going to tell you, Mike, this game here had more excitement, more good plays defensively by both sides. Excitement in the field with some great key hits, and the pitching was phenomenal.
So LSU advances. They will take on the Arkansas Razorbacks. That will be tomorrow at 1 o'clock. Again, single elimination from this point on. The winner will go to the championship game. Coming up later on, of course, right here on our airwaves, we will have Vanderbilt, the number 1 seed, battling Texas A&M. And the victor will emerge to the championship game on Sunday at 4:30.
The SEC on CSS is brought to you by Regions Bank. Create flexible budgets and track goals all in one place with Regions My Green Insights. That's pretty smart. Regions, it's time to expect more. Regions Bank, official bank of the SEC.
To win the Capital